Why do some teams feel energized while others feel drained? Or why do some employees, despite years of dedication, suddenly withdraw or even leave? In such situations, systemic leaders will ask the very important question: is there a balance between giving and taking in the system? In order for a system to be healthy and thrive, we need a fair exchange between giving and taking. This fair exchange doesn't need to be fully equal, perfectly symmetrical, but it needs to be alive. So when something is given, it needs to be received. When something is borrowed, it needs to be returned. When something is contributed, it needs to be acknowledged. Such kind of movement is creating vitality, it's creating flow, and it also grows the energy. In environments where we have the good balance of giving and taking, people feel seen, respected, energized, and they are also willing to do the extra mile. When someone contributes far more than they can get back in recognition, support, compensation, care, then the system holds this as a debt. And this debt will show up sooner or later. What can happen with a person that is giving more than a person is receiving? Burnout is one possibility. Second possibility that is happening is that the person will, despite of all those years of working, just one day have enough of that looking for the balance that is never coming and will quit. Or the third option is that the person will quietly quit. And that means that the person will feel resentment and will stay in the company, but will withdraw. With the time, it will become most probably cynical or even passive-aggressive. And all that is not good, nor for that person, nor for the system. It is also possible that imbalance is happening in another direction, so that the organization is giving much more in protection, in resources, in flexibility, in the care, than the employees are able to give back with their commitment, their responsibility, their contribution. And in such cases, if we have such sort of imbalance, then we are creating entitlement culture where people are with the time having lower and lower ownership and responsibilities because they are just doing exploitation of what is there. And with the time that can even create total devaluation of the leadership and the initial mission of that great organization that wanted very generously to behave to its employees. Balance is very important, and no matter if the certain person or the organization is doing a debt, we will have issues. System counts not only our tasks and our inputs, but system counts also our energy, our efforts, our presence, our care, everything. And the only exception from this principle of balance is in the family systems between parent and the child. Parent is the one who is giving, and the child is the one that is receiving. And then the child will give forward to its own child. In all other living systems and in all other relationships, no matter are they professional or private, system always seeks balance between giving and taking. One of the founders of the small service business struggled for quite a long period of time to find the right hand. operational leader to help him to first build and then also grow the business. And after quite some trials and some attempts, he finally found the right person for the job. And that operational leader with that founder was working for the 6 years, building that business almost from scratch. And they made really some tough calls, but also had some good celebrations in those 6 years. I personally knew that operational leader, and she called me one day asking if I know that somewhere in the company someone is looking for a leader like her. And I was really shocked because for me, from the outside, her partnership with that founder was looking like really the great one. She was really good compensated, speaking of money. She was also respected, and it looks to me that they built through the years some mutual trust. And from the all stories that I know from her about that, it was some sort of a surprise to me that she's now calling me and asking if I know that someone else is searching for the leader and that she would like to apply. Then she told me that she even didn't yet tell the founder that she is leaving, but that decision has been made and that she is not in a hurry. So she will do it once when she's sure that she's found some good new opportunity. And of course, I have to ask what happened and why such a decision. And she told me that briefly her son was sick and she managed to leave the son with her old father for one day. That day in the office, she was telling to the founder that if her son is not getting better tomorrow, that she will stay at home and that she will still work from home, but she will not be able to come to the office. And the founder responded that next day they already have the lunch with the client agreed. And that was actually all that was spoken. She went to that lunch the next day because she again made her father was with her son. And that was actually the day when she decided that she will quit, that it's enough. And of course, I was again going into that devil's advocate role that sometimes I like to be, and I was asking, you will now quit all those 6 years and everything that you made just because of that one situation. Maybe the founder was not even aware of your state that you really want to be with your child. Maybe you should tell something about it loudly. He knew that you had that option with the father. That is, of course, not the best one possible, but he knew that you were resourceful and that you will find a way. And he also knew that you are the one who is putting a lot of time priority to the business. So I don't see why you are now making such a strong decision based on just that one incident and even without talking. And then she told me that this was not the first time that such thing happened, but that actually it was the first time that she was fully aware of it. And that now, when she is recalling, there were numerous situations when they were canceling appointments and meetings and lunches with even more important clients because the founder had some of his excuses, and some of them, according to her, were even funny ones. And in the moment when she was needing some sort of care and protection that she can be with her child, the founder wasn't even offering that he goes alone on that lunch or that they reschedule it. And for her, that was the deal breaker. This story wasn't about some dramatic departure or the story about revenge. There was no fight. We didn't have even the conversation within this story. But I still choose it to show you how the system was losing one of its key people because the flow of giving and receiving had quietly broken down. We are used that this flow is broken because of compensation or because of some recognition, but if we just simplify in this very unusual example, the flow broke on care. She was, for the 6 years, protecting and taking care about everyone and everything in the system. And when it was time that she takes some care back, there was none to take. We tend to celebrate those who give the most, those who gives extra mile, sacrifice their spare time, skip the vacation, and show up no matter what. And we as leaders are usually saying that if we would just have more of such people, then our team, our organization would thrive. But that's a myth. Truth is that systems don't thrive on overgiving. Systems thrive on healthy exchange. We as leaders are ones who can restore the balance if we have the imbalance, and we can shift from that imbalance to the right measure. Slowly, with the right steps. If we do not do some actions in order to restore the balance, then the system will anyhow do that for us. But not necessarily we would like the manifestation that the system will show up. So it is on us to make this flow from both ways so that people can stay, that people can grow, that people can contribute in our team or in our organization for the long run. This week, for the reflection, just watch the exchange of giving and taking in yourself and in your team. And please don't judge it, just notice it. Who is the one that is giving? Who is the one that is receiving? Who is thanked and who is taken for granted? Where are you giving with joy? Where are you giving with obligation? Where are you receiving joyfully? Where are you receiving with some mixed emotions? Observe it. Systemic leadership means honoring the exchange. Not just the money and the effort, but also the care, the trust, the presence. And in order to establish that good balance, you first need to notice what is happening, and then you can try to balance it. And when balance returns, so does the flow, and so does the energy. And when you have the flow, and when you have a lot of energy, then you are thriving.